These people are not like us. That's what we need to learn from Astro World. People, we're talking about how Kylie was recording. She was in a safe section away from all the madness, in a Squid Games type of settings. Like, they're watching you lesser beings, you goyim, you little people go crazy and rage just because someone tells you to. Just because it's Travis Scott and he tells you to. So you just do it. And she's recording the madness. Like, read the room, guys. What enticed you to follow Travis? What excited you about the promotional media marketing material that preceded the event, with things like "See You on the Other Side," and then even seeing that big head in his mouth? You didn't think that was weird? Even if you didn't think it was demonic, you didn't think it was weird? You didn't think it was weird, bizarre even, that it was so dark? And you know what? Music can manipulate your frequency. It can make you feel, a kind of way. That's the best way I can put it. It can make you either feel really good or really bad. And I remember why I stopped really listening to hip hop habitually way back in 2018 is because when I would listen to hip hop, my breathing would become erratic. And even if I was by myself, just having it in my headphones, I was like, I can't breathe right. And it was just the weirdest feeling. I was like, I don't feel like I'm breathing right. And I'm not even a professional breather. Like, I'm not a mindful breather, but I knew something was wrong with the way I was breathing when I heard that music. So when I stopped listening to it, I felt better. And I didn't feel spiritually poisoned. But when you're in those amplified settings, and I've been in a mosh pit, and I hated it. I've been in a crowd that's surging, and it wasn't even as many people as that. And you do feel like a greater force of waves of energy consuming and moving over you, having people's arms, sweaty armpits resting on your shoulder, people climbing up over your body and pushing and shoving, and you have to shove back and push back. And that's when I said, oh, I'll never do this again. Can't be and won't be me. I don't like this at all. I don't like this. And some people, they do like that setting until it's amplified. They have those synth beats at the Travis Scott concert, those spooky, eerie, dark, demented, and demonic, grotesque beats, right? But what following the beats is the lyrics. The lyrics are demented. So you listen to these things, but when it's in your face, because when we're listening on our phone, we're listening to dark music on our phone, the intensity of the energy isn't as great and consuming because it's just us. It's our aura. It's our energy. It's the quotient of energy yield is tolerable. It's kind of like, I guess, like the threshold of dark is diminished until you're in a field of it, until you open up, you congregate with others who share that frequency. The intensity is amplified. And then it consumes you because it becomes a collective energy, an energetic force. And Travis, when you're listening on your phone, he's still the ringleader. But you're not face to face with the spirit that he harbors until you're in his domain, until you're in his astral world, until you're in his realm. Then you feel it. You feel the heat. You feel the intensity. When they have these concerts, they have flames and fire and red strobe lights. They tell you to put your hands up in the air. That's a form of worship. Your hands are up worshiping him. That your hands release energy. That's why people clap. That's why we play instruments. Your hands are releasing spiritual, energetic energy, but when you're vibrating low, you're releasing darkness. Everyone is emanating and releasing darkness. Now you're feeling anxious and panicked because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel as good as it sounds. The poison isn't as sweet as it sounds, is it, when you feel it? humans are creative and expressive beings. And the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Travis said, to win the retreat, we all into deep, playing for keeps. Don't play us for weak. I tried to show him. What is a concert called? It's a show. Let's really get into this. A show is defined as a display or allowed to be perceived, a quality, emotion, or characteristic, a spectacle or a display, a typically an impressive one. Let's define. What is a concert? It is a musical performance given in the public. That's a show. I tried to show them. This is the rules of dark magic. They have to show you and tell you. They have to show you and tell you before they can gain your consent. They can't play if you don't pay. They can't play if you don't pay. Hear me twice. They can't play if you don't pay. What does that mean? They can't play a show if you don't pay to go. They can't play with the devil if you don't pay attention. Did you hear me twice? Did you see how I said they can't play if you don't pay, and I meant two different things? That's what these lyrics are. People speak twice. The first thing is what you hear, and the second is what you understand. And the only way you can understand is if you have knowledge. What is your inner knowing? That's intuition. Hear me. On this earth, we are spirit beings here to create, explore, and understand and know. To choose between good and evil. God gave us this very wonderful, miraculous, and nearly burdensome opportunity to choose. Look at the word earth. What do you see? You see the letters EARTH. What words can you get from those letters? Heart. Scramble the word earth. Heart. Scramble the word earth. Here. Scramble the word earth. Art. Scramble the word earth. Ear. What do my ears hear that goes to my heart? What goes into my heart that becomes my expression of art? Listen. We do with our hands what's in our heart. Right? We create what's in us. We participate and share what's already in us. When those people died, death was in you. When people screamed for their lives, death was in you. It was in your heart. It went in your ear. It went to your heart. You heard it, and it became you. As a man thinks, so he is. Sicko mode activated. Sicko mode activated. Demon time. When the people ran to Travis, it was like they were pulled by demonic forces, carried them with greater strength and intensity than humanly reasonable. They stampeded, crowd surged through the barricades to get to their idol. And Jesus said, the Lord said, God said, "An heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief." Proverbs 6:18. Feet that be swift in running to mischief. Can you think of that? All them people stampeding, feet, quick, running to evil. Quick, so excited, happy. In your heart, Don't look at Proverbs 6:18. A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, that feet that be swift in running to mischief, running to evil. How is that? How is that? A heart that creates wicked plans, feet that be swift in running in mischief. Hear me, earth. Hear me, earth. Hear me, earthlings. Hear me. Hear me. Your ears, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. That's earth right there. Ears to hear. That's earth to you. Are you understanding? Do you have knowledge? Do you have knowledge? Wow. Wow. Sicko mode activated. They was on demon time. They couldn't reach heaven, so they raised hell at Astro World. And hell moved to meet thee. Travis said, see you on the other side. Little Uzi said, video editing figured out. You're all going to hell anyways. And the spiritual people will say, well, hell is just a state of mind. But I guess we'll find out on the other side if it's real, right? You know, the thing is, we all get to choose. I'm not going to condemn anyone because it's not my place. And I'm not going to judge anyone because it's not my place. But what I can say is that in this game of life, we are in a race. And Jesus told me that he who endures to the end will receive the eternal crown of life. Here's what we need to understand. Energy can't be created or destroyed, right? That's a scientific principle. Like I mentioned, the intangible force of consciousness that exists within me is spirit. If energy can't be created or destroyed, it'll just be repurposed. It'll be redistributed. Just like our body goes into the ground and becomes soil, the energy was repurposed. So is the same with the spirit, that energetic consciousness. And the Lord told us he's going to separate the wheat from the tare. He's gathering up his beloved children to his barn. The spirits that align and resonate with his frequency of love and choose to love. Our energetic consciousness will be repurposed on the new earth. And those who choose hate, rage, anger, and violence, the heat and the flames of perversion, their energetic consciousness will be transferred to hell. And it says eternity because energy can't be created or destroyed. So it's repurposed.
Hey, this is me at Astro World, and I wanted to do a little unpacking story time of what it was like up at the front. I don't even know where to start because we got there at 5 a.m. Every point after that, it was just like mayhem. And we quickly realized like this is going to be like a lawless event. The space and the security were completely overwhelmed at every stage of the process. Security got rushed. The place before security got rushed, completely taken over, like completely. There was no, at least for the first wave of people, which we were in, no check, like there was no checking your Vax card, checking your ID, checking your ticket, like there was none of that at all. So anyone could have brought in anything, and they did, obviously. Yeah, I mean, this photo's at like 7:30 in the morning, and all the barricades had already been broken to just get to a line to wait for another line to get through security. But when we showed up, this is what Travis's stage looked like, and we stood right here all day. And yeah, so since we were there all day, like we quickly realized like there was not enough staff. Security was young people, like people in their 20s, like young guys and girls were security at the stage, which is like just the culmination of everything, and they didn't know how to handle it at all. Yeah, And so we were there from 10 a.m. till the set starts. And as you can see, there was like this timer going that was making everybody freak out. And like those noises that you're hearing, like those sounds, were going all day long. From 10 a.m. to the set, these frequency noises with this high bass going all day, making people freak out. 2 hours before the set even started, there's people screaming for help trying to get out. And especially when this timer starts going off, people are getting pulled out left and right. Hundreds of people are getting pulled out, unconscious people, crowd surfing already before anything even started. So it could have stopped there. They could have realized it was going to get out of hand and stopped it there, but they didn't. Obviously, the set starts, everything's insane. We're at the barricade. Our ribs and our hips are getting completely crushed by the barricade, and the people behind us, it's just this mass wave, like, 50,000 people behind us, the pressure of that just crushing us at the front. And another thing I wanted to mention is I've seen a lot of things saying that, like, just the pressure and, like, the uncontrolledness is, like, what made people panic and die. But I also saw a lot of people targeting each other. I was getting hit in the back of the head, smashing my head into the barricade, trying to get my spot. I heard people conspiring to take people out. Like, it was on purpose. And they knew they weren't going to get caught, and they didn't. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about was everyone defending Travis Scott, which is blowing my mind completely. And I'll try to make this fast. But yeah, this signage was everywhere, on the merch, like printed on the stage. It all feels very orchestrated. It all feels very on purpose. But yeah, I want to talk about people defending him, saying like, well, he can't see up there. Like, he's known for being a rager, like, da-da-da-da. No, it was not like that. If he would have said, hey, if you see someone on the ground, pick him up, everyone would have done it. Everyone would have done it. But instead, he says, I want the fucking ground to shake. Like, let's go crazy, Houston. Hello? And after, he got word that people were unconscious. He could see them. He got word that people were dying. And he was still saying these things. Like, let's go, let's rage, let's go crazy. And like, as the show was going on, I was just praying for it to be over. I was so scared of him. I was scared he was going to get us all killed.
How is it that Travis was going to get them all killed when they decided to show up themselves, knowing that they were described and entitled to be ragers? He was instructing them to do what they knew they showed up to participate in. And now, when destruction meets devastation and rage meets demise and trauma ensues, now people are distressed and confused about who this character on the stage is who would watch and allow people to drop dead. He said he was going sicko mode. Sickos are sadists. Sadists enjoy traumatizing and hurting people. They derive pleasure from it. So the fact that people are expecting incongruent results from individuals who have demonstrated their character is really more so on them than the artist. The artist told you what it was about, and you showed up fully informed and willing until it was beyond your capacity. It was beyond what you wanted to feel. It was too much to bear. And now you're praying, but you didn't pray before you went to the event. But now you want to be rescued because the spirit has an inner witness and a knowing that there is a supreme being and there is a supreme God that is willing to intervene and protect you in the face of evil because you are his creation. And when you are met with destructive forces that want to see that creation eliminated, you know to channel to witness and pray to a God. So let's move on to the next testimony.
It is extremely traumatizing. I've never experienced anything like that in my entire life. Probably because I've never been surrounded by so many lifeless bodies. I haven't been able to stop thinking about what was happening all around me. It was so demonic. The energy was so demonic. The set was demonic. Travis was demonic. We were literally in hell. Like, it felt like we were in hell. Nobody could breathe. We were all suffocating. Everybody around me was suffocating. We were standing on our tiptoes, and all you see is everyone around you, chins up, gasping for air, and that's all you see around you. There was no room for mosh pits. There was no room to breathe. We couldn't even breathe. We didn't even have enough room to, like, I'm sore. Like this hurts to take a deep breath today. Like, we couldn't even breathe in there because everyone's bodies were literally suffocating us so bad that people were bleeding out of their mouths and their nose. People were screaming bloody murder, literally begging for help from anybody. There was nothing that anybody could do. The floors were covered in bodies. You're doing your very best. We're fighting for our fucking lives. We're doing our very best to stay up. You couldn't even put your foot on the ground. You're stepping over other people. You're stepping over other people's shoes, just trying to fucking breathe. I'm surrounded by unconscious bodies. I don't even know if these people were alive. There's just people all around you with their eyes rolled in the back of their heads, just being moved with the crowds. There was nowhere we could go. We were trying to push back. We were trying to push back to get out, and we're just getting pushed forward. We're just getting pushed deeper into the crowd. There's sinkholes of people in the crowds all around me. Like, if I would have hit the floor, I would have never gotten up. You can see, like, adults holding their children up, like, trying to get them to safety. There's kids, like, pissing and shitting themselves as a trauma response. Like, imagine going to your first concert and, like, this is how you think, like, concerts are. Like, it took us 30 minutes to get out of the crowd, and we were in the back. As we finally get out, you just see people running out, bawling, lips blue. There's people, they're dragging dead bodies out of the crowd. Dead bodies. And Travis knew. Travis had a bird's eye view on everybody and could see everything. He was asked multiple times to stop, and his responses are, you know what you were here for, something like that, and let's rage. The only reason we got out was because there was mobs of people, like, all linked up, like, in literal mobs, like, moving together to get out. And half the people that were in this little mob with me, is that what I'm calling it, were unconscious. So, yeah, that's how we got out. As soon as I literally could move just my arms, I took off fucking running. I ran all the way to the back where there was no fucking people. Not to mention that through this mob of people I was with, it still took us about 2.5 songs to get out still. And there was literally somebody at the front of our line, like, full on, fist up, huge ass dude, swinging on people, like, literally, like, coming at people, like, get out of our way. There's people unconscious, like, they're dying. Like, it was so bad. I could go on forever talking about what I think was going on, what I felt, what was going on actually. Like, the news is lying. They're lying. The amount of people that I saw dead was more than what they said. Like, other people are out here, like, explaining their own experiences, the different people they saw. Like, it was everywhere. There was dead people everywhere, just getting carried out, just like, they're gone. I wouldn't believe literally anything the news says. There's no way that they can come out and say 100 people died. Someone themselves literally saw 100 dead people. Like, there was bodies lined up everywhere. There's CPR being done in the crowds. It looks like what would be a mosh pit. There's no room for mosh pits. There's only room for the 8 people on the ground that are dead having CPR done. Those were our mosh pits. Our mosh pits were us dying. I picked up no subliminal messages from the website, the tickets. I didn't look. I didn't see. I wasn't paying attention. But now that I go back and I look at the flyer and I look at everything that I was around in the set, it's absolutely disgusting. We were literally being sucked into that spiraling hole of death that was portrayed in front of us. We're all suffocating, dying, And on the screen, it reads, "See you on the other side." Along with all the Illuminati symbols and the praying hand literally sucking our energy from us. I am 100% convinced that this was literally like an energy harvest. Like, this was literally like a satanic ritual. Travis Scott was snatching souls, literally snatching people's souls. I don't even want to know who was forgotten about in there, who couldn't be heard, who couldn't be helped. Like, when the people moved out, like when the concert was over, like, I want to know how many people were laying on that floor still. Because it wasn't 8 people. It wasn't 8 people. It wasn't just 8 people dead. There wasn't just 100 injured. There's probably hundreds dead and thousands injured. I have grown up on Travis Scott. Number one artist. Loved him. I've been to multiple of his concerts before he was even fucking Travis Scott. I've never experienced something like this. That man is done.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night.
So does anyone find it interesting that now that it's all said and done and the deed has been completed and the devastation is left in the wake of the event, people are saying, "Oh my gosh, the signs were there. Oh my gosh, how did we not see this? He did this on purpose." Now people are moving to make Travis Scott the sole villain of this event, as if they weren't co-conspirators in this evil act. Because they showed up, it was evil. It wasn't just Travis Scott alone who orchestrated this chaos and calamity. It was you, people, who showed up and ascribed to the title of being Ragers. You are a co-creator of this experience. You are equally responsible, if not more, because you were in the crowd. You guys couldn't even control yourselves. And then you're going to pull your victim card and say, well, the leader didn't tell us that we should have. The leader didn't tell us that we should have helped each other. So that's why no one did it. But the girl in her last testimony said that people were punching and hurting each other on purpose and conspiring to hurt each other. So people were there with an evil spirit. And now that everything has been revealed and brought to light about the nature of Travis Scott and his music, and not only that, the music industry as a whole, my biggest question for the survivors and those who are now witnesses to this catastrophe and to this calamity, those of us who didn't attend but heard about it, this is my question. Are you really done though? Is this really where we as a society are going to decide to draw the line in the sand? Let's analyze, let's interpret, let's unpack that account that she gave at that festival. People, hundreds of bodies were on the ground, right? And the news is telling you 8. Why would the news be telling you 8? Because they're all in on it. You guys see the gematria. You guys see the numerology. You guys see the conspiracy behind why they're telling you this particular number. It's to inform the other individuals in their secret society that the ritual has been met to completion. They're using their word spells and their broadcastings to complete the cycle of the spell, to wrap things up, to draw the ceremony to its proper close. That's what I'm getting from the media. Because even though it was hundreds dead and thousands injured, they're gonna tell you what they need their peers to know, that they need their elite society members to know, that the ritual was done to completion and that the ceremony is finished, and that their energetic goal was met, maybe even exceeded, and further to diminish the fear and the horror of there actually maybe being thousands injured and hundreds dead. So they're gonna tell you it's less and worse than it actually is to assuage the masses, because people are and should be outraged. Don't trust the media. They're lying. They're lying to us. They're lying to you. Because they want you to believe what they want you to see so they can get your agreement and consent to their continual habitual ritual abuse. Entertainment is ritual abuse. The entertainment industry promotes ritual abuse. Like, we gotta just be real with ourselves. This is what this is. Like, look at the word entertainment. Break down the root and the prefix. Enter, meant, entertain. Enter, to bring in. Tain, which is the root word of retain, so that means to keep. Meant, mentality. Entertainment. Bring, keep, mind. If negative dark forces are entering your mind and you're retaining them in your mentality, it says, as a man thinks, so he is. You will become a dark person. This is what they want. They want to bring you into their darkness. And that's what they did that night at that ritual. And people are saying that a lot of these people who are coming out and who went to Astro World are not identified Christians, or don't believe in God, or are maybe spiritist and maybe non-religious conforming. And I do believe there's a difference between religion and spirituality, and you can be a spiritual Christian because that's what the faith is. Religion is dogma. Spirituality is freedom. Christ said there's freedom in him. But these people, for some reason, they knew something felt really wrong. They're like, oh no, something's wrong. Because it's kind of like a mirage, when you're looking through the mirror of your phone, when you're looking through the screen of your phone and you see the Travis Scott videos and you listen to his music, it's fun and it's not real. It's just entertainment until you cross the threshold and went in his mouth and went into the astral world and your spirit was brought into union with his spirit. And you communed in rage, anger, hatred, idolatry, murder, wrath, greed, covetousness, all manners and expression of evil manifested on those concert grounds. And it joined your spirit, and you had an inner witness and conviction, and it said, no, something's wrong. Just like a lot of people, when they die, they're going to feel that same thing. Something's wrong. Wait, what's happening? And you panicked, and people were asphyxiating. The music was dark and demonic and demented as all get out. And even the girl said she could feel it, and it was suffocating, and no one could breathe, and everyone's gasping for air. Look up pictures of hell, and it looks the same. Pits, they have different pits in hell. Why do they call it a pit? What is a pit? Let's define it. A large hole in the ground. Set someone or something in conflict or competition with. Make a hollow or indentation of a surface. So, what could be a pit? A pit, by definition, a hollow indentation in the surface of the ground. What goes in a pit? Seeds or bodies. You bury something in a pit. Another thing for pit is another definition of pit is a verb that's an action, to set someone or something in conflict or competition. In the pit, mosh pit, you're pit against other people to see who's going to survive the rage. Whose rage is greater? Let's wager. If I come up on top and you come up dead, we'll see who's the strongest one. A large hole in the ground. It says the hell moves to meet thee. Big hole, swallowing people up. Look at the artwork he had of the vortex. That will be a pit. And it was like a vortex in a roller coaster and people getting sucked inside their souls, but they didn't look happy. Look at the Astro World art and concert promotion stuff. There was a pit, a vortex, a matrix-like funnel, people getting sucked in, but they looked like they weren't smiling. They were horrified. Grotesque. So when you think of Travis Scott, I need you to understand these words. Grotesque, horror, demented. When you think of Travis Scott, when you think of modern hip hop, when you think of the music industry, I need you to understand and grasp these words. Grotesque, meaning comically or repulsively ugly or distorted. Just like Travis Scott's Astro World portal head. Demented. Driven to behave irrationally due to anger, distress, or excitement. That's demented. So you were in a demented frequency. Disorder. Disrupt the systemic functioning or neat arrangement of a state of confusion. Disorder, demented, grotesque, chaos. Complete disorder, behavior so unpredictable as to appear random. People were experiencing chaos, disorder, distress, and demented psychology in that arena. And that's what hell is like. So when you went to Astro World and you visited hell, how did it feel when you made it out alive? And would you do it again? Because after this life, there will be a part 2. Will Travis see you on the other side? That's between you and God. And there are no parties in hell. In the same way everyone was trying to make it out for themselves and really only thinking about themselves, there was no human comfort, just terror. That's what hell is, just terror. And I've heard people's testimonies of hell. They are body to body in flames with their hands up, screaming for Lord to take me out of here. I am sorry. And Satan ain't partying in hell either. He not even the ringleader down there. He gonna be screaming too. And the demons that got you to come with them, they gonna be on you. Stabbing you up, eating you up, torturing you, torturing your spirit manifestation. I don't really want to get into that. But whatever you felt at Astro World will be felt again if you don't choose Christ. Even me. All of us. Even me. I sin. I struggle with sin. I am not perfect. I want to be holy. I want to be healed. I want to live light. I want to live truth. I want to live love. I want to be with God. Because in the end, that's all we have. And there were people in that crowd screaming for the Lord. People were in that crowd saying, God, let me make it out of here. Please, I never talk to you. I don't talk to you. No way, no other day. But on this night, I don't know what I need besides you. It would take supernatural strength to get me out of here. Dead bodies around me everywhere. Please keep me, Lord. That's what was in the hearts of many. Like, what am I doing here? Please keep me, Lord. How did I get here? Please keep me, Lord. That was a preview. Travis doesn't even have to go to hell. Jesus died on the cross for all of us. It's real, guys. It's right in front of you. It's real. And you want to know why it's real? You don't ever see none of these celebrities make fun of Buddha. You don't never see none of these celebrities make fun of Allah. You don't never see none of these celebrities make fun of Jainism. They only talk about Jesus. And if he wasn't so real, why do they hate him so much? I'll tell you, they use race to keep people from the truth. Race is only as real as we make it. When I see human beings, I understand that there are historical legacies attached to what the color of our skin means. But it don't mean nothing in the grave. And the only thing that's certain on this earth is death. Everybody has to leave. No one gets to stay. Where will you go on the other side? I'm fighting for new earth and heaven, eternal life and love and peace and truth and harmony. Things that humans naturally have an aversion to. Otherwise, we wouldn't be raising hell down here. Raising hell and open up pits. Hear me, earthlings. It's not just art. It's not just music. Satan is the prince and power of the air. Look it up. What did the Bible say? What did the Bible say? It said that Satan is the prince and power of the air, and all the world has been given over to the evil one. He's the prince and power of the air. What is the airwaves? Music, movies, television, internet. All of the things that we communicate on. This fallen technology, this technology that we use to enslave ourselves. Because evil is so fun, right? It's good to be bad, right? It says, woe unto them who call evil good and good evil. That's woe, Drake said, running through the six with my woes. He said, running through the six with my woes. What did he say? Counting money, you know how it goes. Pray the real live forever, man. Pray the fakes get exposed. I want that Ferrari, then I swerve. I want that Bugatti just to hurt. I ain't rock my jewelry, that's on purpose. Niggas want my spot and don't deserve it. I don't like how serious they take themselves. I've always been me, I guess I know myself. Shakiness, man, I don't have no time for that. My city too turned up, I'll take the fine for that. This been where you find me at. Hear that with your spirit. Why do these people mention prayer if they don't believe in a God? Running through the six with my woes, counting money, you know how it goes. Pray the real live forever, man. Pray the fake get exposed. Who are they praying to? Travis Scott, after he performed at Astro World, he said, oh man, I pray that the families, who you praying to, Travis? You was in sicko mode. What darkness do you worship? Who can we pray to? Who do you pray to that can help the families that lost their loved ones when you orchestrated the event? Come on. What is a woe? What is a woe? Great sorrow or distress. Why was Drake running through the six with great sorrow and distress? What did you feel at Astro World? Great sorrow and distress. Man, this thing gets deep. I hope you guys are hearing me. I don't want to belabor this too long, but choose wisely, because there is another side.